ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Chucklesluts, the #1 place on the net, where you come for the sluts and stay for the chuckles. My name is Samuel Locke. Welcome to episode 18.
I'm Shannon Brunetti. Hey there.
I am Zak Picks.
I just want to say your hair looks fucking standing today, my dude.
I took a shower and then I just did this until it stood straight up. So it's kind of nice. I used to play a druid character in one of my old campaigns named Wicket, and Katie calls this my Wicket hair. And this is when it's either too early or I'm too tired or I don't care.
I see. This is the appreciation podcast is what this is.
It's got some weird science vibes to it, you know?
Ooh, I'm going to have a heavy science vibe here in a minute. I'm about to break the matrix.
Anyway, we're going to start off like we do nearly every episode with the World Doe. And let's go ahead and I guess I'll start this one off. So in the news recently, there was a TikToker who he recorded a dude being super creepy to some teenager and was pretty much like, "Hey, let me show you guys how to unfuck that situation." And so he goes over to the girl and was like, "Hey, your aunt Clarice or whoever is here. You want to? She's waiting for you. You want to go find her?" He's like, "Yeah." She said, "Yeet, I'm out of here." And I think that's pretty cool. It's not so much news, more so like a PSA. In fact, the fact that it's news that needs to be a thing sucks. But I do appreciate dude who's like, you know, maybe you might find yourself or someone else in a very uncomfortable situation. How do you as a person handle that kind of situation? So I definitely appreciate it being out there, and hopefully more people can take notice and act as a result. I know it's not exactly the funniest thing in the history of the World Doe, but I think it's important enough to discuss.
I agree. I like that you put it as like a PSA, because that's one thing to kind of relate to that. I've worked in bars for my whole life, like since I was an adult. And one thing, there's like a kind of bar code amongst bartenders for it's the same thing where like if you're behind a bar and you can clearly see that like some girl's like getting either just hit on too much or some dude just won't let it go or something, every bartender knows that there's a point where you have to kind of step in and be like, "Oh, hey, by the way, like what were you talking about a minute ago? Hey, sorry, man, give me 2 seconds. Can I talk to her for just a second?" And like you can do that. You always know that you can step in and be that guy. And it's something that we'd always try to tell people. We'd try to tell our bouncers, tell servers, tell everybody. It's like, you got to kind of look out for people. Because there's so many monsters out there, you know? And a lot of people don't have like the confidence to stand up for themselves. And so for sure, if you see people in trouble, help. How crazy. Isn't that a nuts concept?
Order that paladin, damn it.
I mean, like, as a woman, you know, out in the night, we all have like a girl code type of thing. Like if there's somebody who's like freaking out in the bathroom, like, "Oh my God, like I have to get away from this dude who's out there." We're like, "All right, you're now my best friend and we're leaving together." Like that's just what it is, you know?
You all have a sacred space. Like girls have the sacred power in the girls' bathroom. If I could tell you how many times I've seen girls just disappear when they're having a bad time and come back like 2 hours later at the bar and they're just like, "Oh no, I was with Stephanie in the bathroom." It's like, because guys don't do that shit. But girls have like a magical safe place, a little Narnia you go to.
Yeah. It's full of champagne and like lots of pink. So
I'm going to use that next time I'm having a bad time. Just, "Hey, I need to go powder my nose and disappear for 2 hours, see what happens." Maybe the girl.
You're at a bar in LA. They'd be like, "Okay, I see what you're saying."
No.
Can I come?
I guess I would do it for science reasons just to see if the effect is the same. But yeah, no, I think that there definitely should be more adherence and more clout around this idea of what to do when it happens. For me, I actually go the complete opposite direction. I fuck with the guy rather than you know, kind of make this thing up where well it's I go for the cock blocking approach is what I do.
Yeah. So you've got a less punchable face than me. When I do that shit, people punch me in the face so fast. Like people just love to punch my face. I think everyone has like a punchability meter.
Hey, you
I'm at,
want
like,
people
97.
to punch you in the face though, like once
I
a
do.
year.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm hardened. I've got a galvanized fucking spectrum here.
Well, it's not so much that I have a punchable face, but I'm also a pretty big dude. Like I'm big enough for even like medium larger dudes to go, never mind. But basically,
I'll fight you.
No
I feel like you
fighting.
fight anyone.
I would fight anybody.
I feel like I wouldn't fight Zach. He seems like he seems
Okay,
like a
Tyler
guy.
Durden.
No, he would be like, I feel like Zach would be the guy who literally throws a chair at someone just because it's available. Like your improv weapon proficiency is probably like mastered. I would not fuck with Zach.
It's pretty high. I've also just, I mean, again, I was raised military. I was raised in the woods. I was raised to fight. I was boxed for like 10 years. Like, I just know how to fight.
Raised by wolves.
I'm pretty fucking much.
Like it's like in your face. It's the I'm good. Pause.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, not to go on a tangent about beating people up.
He's got that face that's just like, I'm pretty comfortable just because I know I could fuck someone up rather than just me being comfortable.
It's only used for a good cause, though. I'm not an asshole. I just can take care of myself. But yeah, anyway, enough about that.
Like as a frat boy, like I saw it a lot as a frat boy, and nine times out of 10, I walk up to dudes like, "Hey, man, I heard about your thing. I'm glad it's not contagious, but you might want to keep it to yourself." And that was just enough for the girl to get like the out enough to be like, "Bye bye." Because
all you got to do is make a mini break in conversation.
Right, and I would rather embarrass the motherfucker who's just being a dick rather than trying to, because I want that person to really think about their actions rather than because like bringing someone away is great. No, exactly. Bring
a bell.
Bringing someone away out of the situation is one thing, but embarrassing someone for the result makes them think about their actions, and hopefully they won't do that next time.
So as somebody who's like too small to get into fights, I've gotten into way too many of them. Mostly based off of not anything that was involving me. It's not like people come and hit on me, but like I just give them like the blank wall of like I'm not interested, and they can usually take a hint pretty well. I am not afraid to just be like, fucking leave, please. But usually when I've gotten like shoved around by people like twice my size, mostly because they like, yeah, but like, like 6 foot tall plus people, because I'm like tiny. It's usually when they've like done something super inappropriate, like titty flipped one of my friends, like really bad stuff.
That's still a thing? Jesus.
Yeah, so like literally I thought it was like a middle school thing, but it happened in college, and I like got super pissed off at this dude, and then he ended up shoving me in front of my then boyfriend, who was a pacifist who did nothing to defend me. So I was about to duke it out with this guy who was like 6'5", and I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Where's my backup?
The fuck?
Man,
I would have thrown him out the fucking window.
He would have gotten fucking
thrown him off the wall.
I would have thrown his ass off the bluff and watched him tumble all the way the fuck down to Google. I wouldn't care.
But yeah, it was like it's just like I get myself into bad situations, which is why it's good I haven't been in this bar life for a while, because I am too small to act a fool like I have, being like, I will defend thy honor, fair maiden. I'm like Sir Didymus from Labyrinth. I'm like that dog that little, he's like, fight me. Like,
you remind me of
a beautiful.
You remind me of another Shannon who I knew way back in the day. She was kind of the same way, where it's like, she was small, but she would fuck your shit. Like we actually got into a bar fight in Busan once, and because Korea is a thing,
it's like the beginning of a book.
Because Korea is a thing, and my buddy just won like the 8th Army boxing. He's like the 8th Army boxing champion, so we're all going out for a round, and like this dude is just like all over her, and she's like, bro, you need to like go somewhere. And like he got to the point where he started like groping and is like, come on, don't be like. She literally like takes this fucking beer bottle and just just wrecks this dude's entire face and life. and like it started this whole other thing, like this whole other bar fight because there's other Air Force people, and Air Force people are shit anyway. But basically, we're all just throwing down, and she gives no fucks, and it was great.
It's
and
a good time, man.
Like I could see you in that situation doing like the same thing, and that makes me think a good time.
Yeah, man. I'd pick you in a bar fight. For sure. You're like a little spider monkey. Go after people.
The fucking
just like, jump off the bar and like pile driver them. Like,
Chucklesluts Fight Club. Anyway, back to the original part of this whole thing. PSA, don't be stupid, assholes. Just be cool, man. Be cool. If the girl says no, leave it at that. If her name is No, if she says no, her number's no, it's no. Anyway, I'm done with that. What do you guys got?
The World Doe starts with 2 words, toilet gardens. Toilet gardens, it's like when people take toilets from Home Depot and just like put a bunch of plants in them and uses them as planters. So there is
way nicer than what I was thinking.
Yeah. That's going in much opposite direction.
So there is a upstate New York man from a tiny town called, oh crap, I forgot what it was.
That's a long name.
Yes. Anyway, so it's Potsdam or whatever, New York. It's a small little village in upstate New York, and he won a federal court case being able to keep his toilet gardens in his front yard because everyone else was like, why the fuck are there toilets with flowers in them in your front yard? That's so ugly. No. And so he literally took it to federal court because they were so mad at him for having toilet gardens, and he fucking won. He gets to keep his toilet gardens in his front yard.
Small victories.
Yeah, free country. Fuck them. Here's the thing, though. Like, it reminds me of like the start of postmodernism. You know, Duchamp did the same thing. Is this art? And expensive hobby because yeah, I know. Toilets are expensive, so it's an expensive hobby. Dude must be really bored, but I mean,
everybody's got a thing, man.
Everyone's got a thing, and
some people just need to plant toilets.
Maybe he's a dude with a beret and a very long cigarette. Like, this is me putting beauty and art where it don't belong. Or something.
It is a surrealist explanation of society. This is art.
We put the pretty flowers and the Popeyes and the lazy Susans into the toilets.
Exactly.
I do not want your money, but this is a $10,000 exhibit.
Yeah, I'd also love that anytime like art concept comes up, everyone puts on a cheap, shitty French accent and immediately is the same person. Like, I think in all of our minds, we become the exact same person.
My name is Claude from the Louvre.
Well, yeah, no, you're either one of two people. You're the fancy French guy, or you're like the tortured artist who doesn't give a fuck. Where it's like, here's a jar of piss, represents my life. That's $5,000. Staring at it's 10. What? This is just me. I'm part of the exhibit.
What I want to bring back? Remember back in the day when rich people just adopted artists because they liked their stuff and they just put them up in like fancy houses?
Patrons.
Yeah. And I'm
the
like,
patron
where
system.
the fuck's my patron, man?
It's turned
I'll
into
do
the
some
daddy
finger
system,
paint.
and that's way different.
It did turn into a daddy system.
Yeah, because the patron system used to be like an honorable thing. Also, there was honor, in the world, but there's none of that anymore. Because now it's like a patron is just a daddy. Because you find them all over the place. Like, it's a very normal thing now, but it's a much more gross and sexualized thing.
Yeah.
Well, it's sex and arts. Maybe like the art of sexual nature. And that's...
But is sex not art?
I mean, that's not to say sex can't be art. Sex has been art for hundreds and hundreds of years. It's more like capitalism got into it. Corporations took over the daddy industry. That's what happened.
Incorporate daddies.
Incorporate
Daddies
Inc,
baby. Daddy Inc. I'm gonna make this.
We gotta make shirts now. Daddy Inc.
I mean,
daddyinc.com. That's the new place for all artistic sugar babies looking for artistic sugar babies.
Like, dare to gander, there might already be a daddyinc.com, and it might be way different than most people think it is.
Might be a tattoo artist.
It could be.
I feel like if we daddyinc.com, INC, like, we're just giving free advertising to some random ass website.
For sure.
We should just make that website.
If it's not a thing, we should
new
totally
startup. Startup Chucklesluts Daddy Inc. New place for sugar babies.
That is a good time.
Well, that's wonderful. Toilet gardens, yes.
Yeah, I was about to say, I can't remember how we got to daddies from toilets. I missed that.
It was the art patrons.
Oh, there we go. That's what it was.
I was going to say, we lost the original story for a second. And we turned
all
to
roads
so much
go
better.
back to sugar daddies. All roads go to sugar daddies in this economy. That's what it is.
I mean, isn't that what CEOs are anyway? Just sugar daddies for exploitational work.
Kind of.
True.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
we are all sugar babies at heart. Hey, Zach, what do you got in the world now?
All right. So this is it's gonna might seem a little complicated. I'm gonna try to do this as simply as possible. Mine is about quantum physics. If anyone is familiar with quantum physics, there's a very famous experiment called the double slit experiment, which often is people's like first kind of foray into quantum physics. Also, I'm so sorry. There's construction outside my house, like directly outside my fucking house. So if you hear anything, that's me. So anyway, the double slit experiment, to put it very, very simply, was done a while back, and it would basically proved a bit of like or tried to show a little bit of like this uncertainty principle, this like spooky understanding of the way electrons work, to where if you basically fire electron laser towards a sheet of paper that has two slits in it, and then behind that you have a gold foil paper where it can like chart where all the like beads of electrons are coming through. If you fire it and you don't watch it, the beads react a certain way. But if you observe it, they act a different way. We don't understand why that happens, but what it seems like is that when we observe things, like our intention somehow changes the outcome of an uncertain principle of quantum physics, which is spooky and weird anyway. But we've known this for a long time, that a particle can either act as a singular entity or it can act as like a wave form, which is super weird. Now, something new has happened that is mind-boggling. So they recently updated this experiment, and what they did was they added an extra step. So they shot it once, and it reacted as a particle. It came out, and behind it, so on the gold foil, there would be like two straight lines, as if you were firing like tennis balls through two holes. And then they observed it with a camera. And when they did that, the particles then acted like waves. So there's a bunch of lines on it. Now, if later on, if you didn't actually watch it, you only observed it through technology, it still reacted differently. But then if you go back and you delete the observational footage, like you make it as if it were never changed or were never observed, the experiment will retroactively. That is a word that I usually can say. It's morning time. Retroactively will change, which makes no sense. This makes time not real. First of all, we live in the Matrix. I don't fucking get it. Like the implications of this are insane. Like literally, you change something. You simply change like a concept. Like you know what? Maybe I didn't look at it, and you make it so it could never have been observed. Then it just changes. Like reality reshapes, which is fucking insane.
So let me get this straight. Because it was recorded on technology,
mm-hmm.
the visual and the technology changed from what was seen in real life.
Yes. So I mean, basically, so like if you have like a foil sheet where you can see where the electrons hit on the back, and you put that in a safe, and it was observed, so it would show like a wave format. It would show a bunch of lines on it as if waves had come through. And then you go and you delete the footage, so it has never been seen. It has never been looked at. Nothing has changed except for the fact that you deleted the possibility of it being seen. That gold foil in a safe somewhere will change.
Oh.
Which is crazy. And
Okay.
we have no idea why. Like, they just don't get it. And they do know that like subatomic particles don't typically have to adhere to the typical standard like physical model, especially for like macro physics. That's the reason there's the Heisenberg principle and the uncertainty principle and all that shit. Like electrons kind of exist, kind of don't exist. It's the whole like Schrodinger's cat situation, stuff like that. And in this, now, not only does space not matter and form, but time no longer matters to subatomic particles.
So essentially, it was willed out of existence because it was not observed.
Yes, meaning our intention somehow has a play. Like, we have a fundamental ability to affect things simply with intention. I guess that stupid fucking book, The Secret, it was right the whole goddamn time. It's just, it makes no sense, and it makes my brain hurt.
It makes mine right now.
It's too early for this shit.
I will. So I'm going to find the paper. That's what I was looking for before we started. I read this whole paper on it. And again, like, it probably needs to be more peer reviewed. And I probably don't know all like the deep science of it. I'm giving a very paraphrased explanation of a very complex quantum physical experiment. So there,
I feel like that's
anything
gonna have
up,
to
let
be,
me know.
That experiment's gonna have to be recreated. I mean,
Definitely.
like,
Well, I mean, it's been done a million times.
well, no, that one has.
Well, no,
but
the
I mean,
newest part. The newest.
Yeah,
part.
the newest part. Because I'm just thinking to myself, like, this feels like a Bigfoot moment, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'm a little skeptic. I'm a little just so
I'm sure
because the implications of saying, hey, we can now will things in and out of existence based on this quantum theory, we just all turned into Thanos as far as I'm concerned.
You can't will things out of existence. You can modify the spatial points of electrons, because electrons only kind of exist, which is insane.
Only kind of.
For real, like when you get to subatomic, I mean, that's it is physically impossible mathematically to locate where an electron is in an atom, because they exist in kind of like this extraplanar reality sort of thing. That's what the Heisenberg principle is. Where, like, if you are watching on a camera live action, you can't see where an electron is in a thing. If you take a photo of it, then it will stop. And because you can see where it was, but it is mathematically impossible to locate an electron in an atom. But once we put intention to it, it becomes located. That doesn't seem to make any sense, but that's just the way quantum physics works. That's also the quantum entanglement. Like, the fact that I can tickle a fucking hydrogen atom here and an electron connected to it on the moon will giggle, like, instantly, without any need for space or time. It's crazy.
The only thing I could think of, let's assume that this actually happened. It's not a Bigfoot thing. The only thing I could really assume that makes me a tiny bit skeptical is maybe that there was enough electromagnetic force between, like, the camera and the thing where they kind of mirror each other as a result. But even then, that seems a little far-fetched. Like, interference is definitely probably the one thing I would say that maybe skewed those results. So I'm hoping that in the future they redo this experiment and find out if they can essentially double do the thing.
Yeah. I mean, I just hope it. I love it. I love quantum physics so much because it is spooky and weird and crazy, and it gives light to the idea that, like, there's just so much more going on that we don't understand.
Yes. You are our resident mysterious slut. You are the mystery slut of this.
I love being a mystery slut. Also, probably not the first time I've been called a mystery slut. I'm like, I don't mind that.
Yep. I definitely. I feel like the original Chuckleslut. I don't know.
What?
I'm just the garbage slut. It's okay.
The what slut?
Garbage.
Oh.
Sammy Slamlock, OG slut.
OG slut.
Yeah, we got OG slut, garbage slut, mystery slut. I'm down.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then like the grouch in my trash. Occasional slut.
So there we are. Okay, we're gonna move on to a new thing that we're going to be doing. New stuff is always great, called Landing Party. So the way this thought game works is we create a scenario and we decide who's going to be on the landing party to explore this new planet. And for our scenario today, we are going to be landing on a planet full
These
of
real people or characters?
It could be fictional. Think like No Man's Sky. It could be literally anything, anyone, ever.
Okay.
Because this is new, we literally haven't tried this before, so it could go great. Anyway, it is a planet of mind flayers.
Oh,
Planet of Mind
God
Flayers.
damn.
Who's on the landing party to deal with this bullshit?
If
Oscar
anybody
the
doesn't
Grouch
know, by
from
the
Sesame
way.
Street.
Ooh, you don't want to get in that brain.
Oscar the Grouch.
If anyone doesn't know, mind flayers are extraplanar creatures from the D&D world that they're like Cthulhu-esque kind of creatures. They're like humanoid with a squid face. They eat brains, and they are also like incredibly powerful psychics, like super powerful psychics. And they eat brains. That's kind of a thing. They like slurp onto your fucking forehead and like octopie.
No, I'm changing my one. Eustace from Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Well, wait, why use?
Because he's not scared of anything, and literally he has the brain the size of like my thumbnail, so like it's not like they're gonna get through to him because his brain's too small.
So
I respect that.
Yeah. To jump into this, the landing party is a team of 5.
Why don't we do like a team of 3 so we each have one, and like so that way we each do one, and then it's like we make a team, like a trio to survive. When our 3 people, could they make it?
Gotcha. Let's see. The person on my that's gonna be part of my team here. The person has to be like mentally just iron and probably has regenerative properties and can just like really walk around like nothing's bothering this person. I'm gonna say Deadpool.
Oh, that'd be
because Deadpool. The reason I would pick Deadpool for my landing party is he already kind of knows that the world is a simulation for the most part, for him anyway. So it doesn't necessarily bother him that there's psychic problems going down. He's already batshit crazy. So even if they were to try and psychic him, he'd just be like, ooh, that tickles. you know? And he's got so much plot armor on him. Like even if they were to suck his brain out, it would just regenerate anyway. And this has been shown multiple times in multiple comic books where he could have like a cell left and he would still just regenerate out of nowhere. And he would probably just make friends with them anyway, or even worse, he would probably find a way to use his psychic ability against them to make them all a bunch of party monsters. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Deadpool as part of the landing party.
I like that. I think Deadpool's always kind of a hack. He's one of those characters that, like, in any situation, I'd want him there, even if it's just like drinking beers on Friday.
Sure, but I'd say he has purpose.
I mean, not in a bad way.
There.
He's just
yeah.
He is a good choice specifically for this one. Who you got, Shannon? You're going to use this?
I mean, that was just mostly the Mimi choice. I'm still gonna go with another Mimi choice, but if we're talking about people who don't care about whether they get hurt or not and can be used as cannon fodder, the Black Knight from Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Oh, that's good. Also wearing a helmet.
Yeah.
Hard to eat a brain through a helmet.
Yeah, and I mean, they'll have to cut off his arms and stuff, but it's only a flesh wound, so like it doesn't matter for him. It's only a flesh wound.
I like that.
This is why I'm the garbage slut. Here I am, taking your game and fucking it up.
Shitting all over.
I'm gonna go way different. I'm gonna pick Patrick from SpongeBob.
Oh my god, yeah.
For several reasons. One, starfish don't really have brains. They have like a complex nervous system that goes around their whole body. Also, he's super dumb, wouldn't care, not be afraid. Also not afraid of aquatic looking creatures. So I think he'd kick it. And since starfish regrow. So even if he loses like one top, regrow it, man. You're good. And he'd be good on an island. He's easy to deal with.
I feel like mind flayers would just be angry about his very existence because
he just annoy them all to death. He'd just be like,
because mind flayers are also very super intelligent creatures, and the idea of just Patrick hanging around and they can't suck his brain out and he's just sitting there talking dumb shit all day.
Yeah, for sure. No, they would hate him without a doubt.
Patrick Star wins the day.
I don't think if you had an island full of mind flayers, I think we're all dead. I think Deadpool would be the last one surviving just because he keeps regrowing, and then everyone else would just be eviscerated. Because they're also very powerful sorcerers as well, so they just boop us all out of existence as it is.
So, okay, like mind flayers are super powerful beings. They have like I've never known them to actually have a weakness in D&D, which is why they're so uniquely terrifying in the D&D world.
Mhm.
And so it's like, do they actually have a weakness? I'm asking DM expertise here.
Yes, mind flayers, while they are incredibly powerful psychics and sorcerers, they are incredibly physically weak. If you can get in their mouth, you can fucking mutilate them. Like you just have to get close and hurt
Like
them,
literally inside their mouth?
I mean, you could, or snipe them. Again, they don't have a lot of physical protections. They have a lot of magical protections. So even if you just had like some sort of sniper or Deadpool with his guns, like they can't really do much to you. So if you're outside of their telepathic range, but they are inside your ranged weapon range, then you win that battle 9 times out of 10.
I'm gonna change my answer on the landing party then. This is gonna be a fun one. I'm gonna hook up Darth Vader on this landing party. Just because
This is an Omega level Jedi, no big deal.
No, the reason I want to do this, if you have a planet of mind flayers essentially, and then you have one badass Jedi Lord dude who like I want to know how many waves of mind flayers he could take before he breaks, because I don't think he could take the whole planet. I don't think he could do that. I just want to see how many he could take before he just like succumbs. Or is it one of those things where like because the mind flayers are psychic attacking him, it just fuels his rage and he just gets more powerful as they attack him?
Maybe. I think in like Jedi lore, Jedi and Sith always have sort of like a mental guard up to protect themselves from other Force users. So I think it is brilliant because I think he would always have some sort of mental protections. So I think the most important thing is like he wouldn't be able to be telepathically changed. So he'd just walk up and lightsaber the fuck out of them and not have to worry about any of their psionics, only their sorcery. Yeah, Vader's a good one. Just for me, it would be for the mental protections.
Yeah.
I almost want to like make this into a Reddit post and just like, hey guys, who wins in this scenario? This is a really good scenario.
Darth Vader versus
Vader.
100 mind flayers. Who wins?
A planet full of mind flayers.
Like how many?
A D&D Darth Vader. That's a new character sheet.
Ooh, we could do.
I'd throw Vader on a sheet.
Maybe we'll do that on another episode or two, because
Yeah.
I know we have two celebs coming up. I might replace.
Two random 80s people.
Whoa! Oh, that's right. I forgot. You hate the fucking 80s. God,
I hate the 80s.
damn
I
it,
despise
Zach.
the 80s.
You would hate my surf shop. All they do is play 80s music, and I'm like,
I would hate your surf shop for sure.
Mhm.
Just play Surfer Blood and Tiger Army on repeat. I'd be fine.
That's fair.
Anyway, okay, so our landing party, based
Vader, Patrick.
Black Knight, Darth Vader, and
Black Knight.
Patrick's. Yeah.
This is the best landing party ever.
I
I'm
just
about this.
want. I can just picture. Forget James Earl Jones' voices coming out of like Darth Vader talking to Patrick. It's like, what are you? Some type of noodling?
No, I'm Patrick.
Oh my god.
You are dumb. I think
Vader
I
would
will
end up just
make you
killing the
my
rest of it.
pet.
I just imagine him like using Patrick Star and just yeeting him across basically, and using him as like a big giant
A throwing
like-
starfish.
Yeah, he's a throwing starfish for Darth Vader. I love
How
it.
are you still alive?
And because he's got cartoon physics, he'll never die. He'll just be like hurt and confused.
And I mean, in canon, Patrick's also super strong though. Like he's a
That is
big, like
true.
a big old beefy cake, and because he's always picking up all kinds of crazy shit. Sometimes he like hulks out and gets so. No, I mean
Picks
he's a
up his
big
rock.
dummy, but he's strong.
Yeah.
This
I
is
mean, he
an-
might be the size of my hand though. I don't really know the size difference.
This is an unusually OP landing party. I just want to throw that out there.
It's a good one.
But yeah, tell us what you think in the comments down below. Could Darth Vader take on 11 billion mind flayers? Could Patrick Star commit genocide as a throwing star? Let us know in the comments down below if you're watching.
Take that to a different place. There's no longer self-defense.
We're gonna move on to the next segment of the show called "If I Had Made It," and this is about pretty much anything in the world that people have made that might have been good or bad, but could have been better as a result of us kind of being king for a day and deciding to make it as a result.
You want to go first, Shannon?
Sure. So, I watched a shit ton of cartoons. I still watch a shit ton of cartoons. I have a problem. Anyway, so I watched a bunch when I was a kid. I don't know if anybody remembers the Hi Puffy Unity show. It was like a American. It was a American animated TV show about two Japanese pop stars. There's a duo. It's like Japanese like J glam rock type of thing.
Yeah.
It did not go on for as long as I wanted it to. I thought that show was really cool, a really interesting like view into like as a little kid into the whole like Tokyo like decora and like fashions and everything. What I would have done was just made more seasons of it, and also I also would have wanted to switch up the animation style a little bit because it was still like kind of like a Hanna-Barbera-esque type of animation style. And it came out around the time that they were doing like Ben 10 and stuff that was like more anime-esque, which, making a show about Japan with American like animation styles, it was cool and I really liked it, but I would have rather, had it been a little like closer to like, all the Toonami-esque type of stuff, even though it was like a cutesy, like kind of like a slice of life show. I also want them to just bring it back because it was just really fun. It was just like two girls like traveling the country as like a random rock group and like them just kind of discovering like America and shit like that. It's kind of fun.
I like the Puffy Amiyumi show, especially like the I love the music actually.
Yeah.
Like I like every so often I'll be in bed at like 2 a.m. and I'll just hi Puffy Amiyumi show.
I feel like I missed out.
Dude, it was such a cute show. Yeah, but they could have made it better. But I mean, obviously, it was made for like littler kids than both of us were when we were watching it. Sam, it was not made for us.
God, I was probably maybe 15 or 16 when it came out, and I think if I remember, it came on just before Adult Swim or was on Adult Swim. It was one of the two.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was one of those like transition shows before I start watching like, I don't know, Rurouni Kenshin or something. So I would catch some of it and I'm like, okay, I could fucks with this because I loved Powerpuff Girls. I still kind of do. Like
Powerpuff Girls is rad though.
It was awesome.
It is a fun show.
It was very ahead of its time.
Yeah, that wasn't done by the same people that did like Zim, was it? Was that Tarkovsky or whoever the fuck did?
No,
not Tarkovsky.
It was Samurai Jack. It was the same.
Samurai Jack did Tarkovsky.
Yeah.
Wait, so it was Tarkovsky.
Yeah.
Same dude did Primal, Samurai Jack, and all that. Not Invader Zim.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like it was made by an incredible creator. Also, if people haven't watched Primal, what haven't? That's my next rec is Primal. That shit is amazing.
But the band Puffy Amiyumi did the Teen Titans, the original Teen Titans theme song.
Teen
They were the
Titans.
ones. Yeah.
That's
so
awesome.
that's why they got. I think that's why they got their own show.
Jam.
Yeah.
I can't.
Also, Teen Titans was a fire show. Like that.
It was.
Oh my god, yes.
Really good.
We're talking about like
I want more.
So much music noodle, dude. So much music noodle. I love
music noodle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, that's what I call like stuff that just gets stuck in your head. I just call it music noodles because I eat that shit all fucking day.
I dig that. I recently referred to my brain as a bowl of noodles, and it made me very happy.
I wanted to just learn more. I mean, I know it's like a cartoon, but I wanted to learn more about like the band. And I know like it's hard to do in like a little kid show, but like after finding out they sung the Teen Titans song, like theme song, and then it's going into their little bit about their band touring life, and they just fell off the face of the world. I'm like, where's the band?
Dude,
I wanted to know more.
Dude, there's a lot of times where like in show bands are like way cooler than the show itself, but then like for the beats in Doug, like I love the beats. Like I do. Like I still sing Killer Tofu,
Yeah.
30 years later.
That's a good time.
Let's see. For me, if I had made it, I'm a big Trekkie. I've watched most of it at this point. The one series I can't get behind is Voyager. And it's not the people. The people are fine. Like I don't like it's the
Voyager's the lady captain, right?
Lady captain, yes. I love Katie Mulgrew. She's amazing as captain.
Yeah, she's fucking rad for sure.
And the characters are great. I have no problems with like the holographic EMS playing Dr. House before Dr. House was a thing. Yes. Um, my biggest issue is the premise of the show, where they get essentially warped randomly 75 light years away, or it's going to take them 75 years to get home, and they're like an X amount of light years away. The problem I have with this premise is how they went about it. It's, you know, they try to get home, great. The problem I had was they had so many episodes where they actually had the opportunity to get home and they didn't take it. They had they had so many fucking detours for dumb reasons, and I just
they had detours for the sake of plot.
But like, I understand that, you know, plot line.
It's like saying I would have loved Star Trek, but I wish they could have just made it home and gone home and hung out with their family. You know, like
but no, like there's one episode that really gets me. Like they could have gone home, but they would have been, I think it's like 30 years in the past if they did. I would have taken that. Like, 30 years in the past. I know it's gonna happen, and I can maybe even fix some things in those 30 years times. Yeah, send me home 30 years. I don't give a shit. I'll do that. But no, they're like, no, we're going to take our chances with 75 years. Dude, come on. Like, and the pacing is really slow. I would definitely kind of speed things up. Like, I couldn't even, I barely got to the first season. And more importantly, I don't even think I would want to try to go home. I think like 75 years in human years, that's forever. That's a whole generational lifetime. At that point in time, at what point do you say, you know what? I think we're just gonna have to find a habitable planet and just do something else. And like that, I feel like would have made more sense and maybe even made a much better idea for Star Trek than just going home. You know, I love the idea of like, well, we're here to explore new worlds. We are Voyager. Let's go on a fucking voyage. Like, and then maybe establish communications and figure out some quantum shit to finally go home, or whatever be the case. Like, don't like send yourself off 75 years into some other way and try valiantly to get home. I just that's what I would have done with it. Like I said, everything else was great. Just the initial premise, I'm like, I
get what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't really have that many opinions on Voyager. I think I've only seen like a few episodes of Voyager. There's so much Star Trek out there; it's so hard to get caught up.
It took me,
and now there's like 2 new shows as well, like 2 modern Star Treks.
I want to see Lower Decks so bad. It looks so fucking funny.
Oh yeah, no, I have it on my
watch
list now. It's like it's an animated comedy about the engineers on the show.
Yeah. No,
oh no.
It's there's also another show out. I want to side note on it really quick. Called Resident Alien.
I love Resident Alien. It was funny. It's Alan Tudyk coming back.
It's Alan Tudyk coming back in sci-fi where he belongs, and he's an alien. He's ET. I mean, I've only seen the trailers, but he's ET. He can't get home, so he's just playing a doctor on Earth. And
he sort of gets like conned into being. It's an alien who they crash landed on Earth, is stuck here. And he kind of gets in a precarious situation where he does pretend to be a human, but the first person he pretends to be is a doctor in a small town. And then like once the people start thinking he's the doctor, then they treat him like the doctor because it's a tiny little town, but he doesn't know anything about humans and he hates humans. He's having to like try to fix people, but he's not charming. Like he plays a mean alien and it is so funny. They did it really well. I thought it was really charming. It's like more intense and kind of like it's got like a horror element to it, which I didn't expect. It's really good. It's a lot of fun.
So what you're trying to tell me is Sci-Fi is going to cancel it in 2 seasons?
100%. Yeah, it's on Sci-Fi, so it's not going to do well. But it'll be great, and everyone will laud it and hate them for getting rid of it.
And what's your if I had made it?
Okay, so this is just fresh on the old noodle. So dating Katie, I watch a lot of like CWE kind of like silly shows, like any show that's involving like fairies, magic, things like that. I have to watch all these shows.
Are you talking about the Winx Club one?
I'm talking about Winx. That's exactly what I'm talking about. So it just came out on Netflix. It's based off an old cartoon about fairies.
I love that cartoon.
In the cartoon, I had to like look it up to see what it was about, and people loved the old cartoon. Like it was a good show.
I did. Yes, it was amazing.
So this fucking thing It stresses me out because usually like these shows are all the same. Like there's probably like 30 shows that have kind of the same premise. Is like young girl or young boy finds out like they have a magic or they're an alien or they're a monster, whatever they are, and then go to like alien or monster or fairy high school. And when they get there, they're the Mary Sue. They find out they're more powerful than everyone else, and they have to save the day. It's the same premise for a million different shows. In this show though, like what makes me angry is it seems like it was gonna do well. Like the acting wasn't too bad. The characters weren't terribly awful. It was better than your average kind of like campy teen show. But this motherfucker crammed like 18 episodes worth of content in 6 episodes. It is a white knuckle fucking experience, and it makes the show just dramatically worse. And I would have taken the time to flesh this motherfucker out. Like you have in the span of 6 episodes, the main character goes from not knowing that she has any powers at all to in like a month being like the most powerful character in the show, can beat anyone without trying to do. She literally never learns anything. She's an asshole to everyone, and she's like the ultimate Mary Sue. She just is better than everyone, while she's also mean as shit. Doesn't actually give a shit about being better. She just gets to be the strongest character ever, and it's like every episode there's like 4 earth-shattering moments, and then she's like, God, man, like it made it so you could like hardly enjoy it almost because the plot just moves so fast. And I would have slowed it down because I think it actually had the potential to do really well. For anyone that watches it, like there's a lot of hope. There's a lot of good characters, and it could have been really good, but I feel like it was just rushed so much to keep people like engaged. Woof! I would have fleshed out some characters and made it longer.
So as a fan of the original show, I was super pissed off that they made Stella into such a big bitch. Like, she was not a bitch in the original series. She was like ditzy and blonde, and yeah, she was a rich princess, but she wasn't such a bitch. And she never dated Sky, and that whole like weird love triangle thing that they're going on, I'm like, that's wrong. This is not.
And but even that's still the Stella character though. By the end, she is a really sweet, nice character again. Yeah, but it's like, a whiplash speed. Like, she can't go from being the worst character to like the nicest character in like 4 episodes.
And then like Bloom was never a bitch. She's such a whiny bitch in the whole entire thing. She's like, I'm like,
Bloom is the worst. I hated her the whole fucking. I was just every decision she makes. I'm like, why are you going alone?
Bloom was my favorite character in the animated series, and I fucking hate her in this one. I'm like, what did you do?
Turned this bowl of noodles into a bowl of salsa where I was a rage monster when she's like, I'm mad, I want to go test out my firepower. Where should I go test my uncontrollable firepower? Maybe in the middle of a forest. That's the best place to test your fucking uncontrollable flames, you dumbass idiot.
And she's such a bitch to Aisha the whole time. I'm like, this girl is legitimately trying to help you, and she literally did the mature thing and was like, hey, I need some space from all of your drama, and she treated her like shit, being like, I literally can't help you right now because I'm going through my own shit. She's like, fuck you for not helping me. Like, fuck you, Bloom.
Most of that, Bloom. But Aisha was a rat. She fucking narked, so she's dead to me. Stitches get snitches.
I stopped after episode 3, so I have no idea. Like, I didn't finish that shit.
She's a rat ass bitch. Fuck that.
Oh no!
I don't mean to cut off this extremely lively conversation. Well, we got to move on to our next segment, which is The Hills We Die On.
Wait, I thought this was Donkey Show.
Oh, right.
Donkey Show.
We are doing Donkey Show. I forgot. Yeah.
Get off my fucking hill, bro.
Yeah. So, okay, we have a another new segment for you guys called Donkey Show. It's a new show, which you guys already kind of covered a Donkey Show, it sounds like. But so the premise of this is a show or a movie or pretty much anything that kind of started off great or maybe was a great premise, but then somehow got ruined subtly or suddenly along the way.
Can we not do like tropes? I thought it was under like.
Well, and we can also do tropes as well. We're working.
Because I thought it was just like I was under the impression it's just like sort of tropes or like things about shows that make you angry, like. Because I can do either. I could do one for each, but because I had a trope that makes me super mad and shows.
No, we can do both. We can do both.
Okay.
I think it works.
Cool.
So I want to start. So I remember when we were talking about Donkey Show that we used Game of Thrones as an example for like things that were great and then just no one speaks of it ever again. So
It
I have
is
something
out
that,
of the American lexicon.
It's great.
yes. So after the Last Airbender TV show, people still talk about the movie that no longer exists that came out of it.
They
The
should
M.
not be
Night
named.
Shyamalan Ding Dong movie, M. Night Shyamalan atrocity. I went to go see that in theaters because I loved the show so much as a kid. And
Wait, what are you talking about?
yeah, right? What movie?
I mean, did you say the name? Oh,
The
the
Last
new Airbender, the movie,
No.
the real movie. Oh, God.
Yeah, the M. Night Shyamalan one. It was just called The Last Airbender. It came
Yeah,
out
yeah,
like
the live
circa
action one.
2008 or something, 2007, where he just made everybody white except for the bad guys, which
I wasted good anime expo time on that movie. I was offended.
I went to go see it with my mom and my brother, and we all walked out of the movie. My mom didn't know anything about the show. She thought the show was stupid. My brother and I watched that show religiously. But yeah, we're just like, first of all, we're just doing it because we're like, maybe it'll be better. We were dumb kids. We were literally children. Like we didn't know. We're just asking our mom to go to the movies like on a matinee on a Saturday. And I'm just like, first of all, why is this dude from Twilight in this movie? Second of all, why does he not blink? Sokka's supposed to be funny. What's going on? That movie was so bad that literally the entire fandom just calls it that movie, or like, what was it? Huh? Like that never happened. It was so bad. It was so bad. And you always forget the freaking Dev Patel was in that movie because like, why would he do that to his career? Like
Yeah, it was a goddamn nightmare. It was such a letdown. Because Airbender is like a game changing experience. I recently had Katie. It was her first time going through Avatar, and now she's in. Now she like fully in
there
love
was
with
not
it.
a bad episode in that show. There was
No, it's so funny. And yeah, Sokka is the funniest fucking character. He's so good. Oh, I love that show.
But yeah, my biggest complaint of the movie that doesn't exist was, well, actually I have two. So in the original series, they're like, firebenders generate fire from their hands because they can't control it because fire is uncontrollable, and that's why they think that they're superior because they can generate it and also hurt people with it. In the movie, they could fucking manipulate fire, which like takes away everything the show like talked about. And then that whole episode where they were stuck on an oil rig out in the middle of the ocean because they were earthbenders and they couldn't bend metal yet. They're just like, we've trapped earthbenders on Earth, and they're so scared. And I'm just sitting there going like, all right, that's when I up and left. I'm like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, nope, this is fake news. I'm sorry.
I'm pretty sure that movie ruined his career for like a good 10 years. I mean, there's other movies that also ruined his career, and he still has a career, and it makes me mad that he still has a career because there's so many better filmmakers out there.
I mean, he's just making weird shit. He's always made weird shit. It's just he rolls the die on it, and it's a rough time. Because I mean, he's made a bunch of movies, and there's some bangers in there.
Well,
he's just a weird filmmaker.
I think I've talked about it on the show before, where 9 times out of 10 he'll give away the surprise in the middle, and that's, you just have to roll with that. And it's like, okay, now that I know, why am I watching the rest of this fucking movie? I just
maybe I think you're a clever film watcher and you're a filmmaker, so like it's easier for you to spot those things. I wouldn't say 9 times out of 10. I would say maybe half the time he gives it away too fast, but usually he gives clues if you know what you're looking for.
He did it with The Visit. He did it with Signs. He did it with The Happening. Like, it's water. It's the plants. That's not your whatever. I hope I'm not.
I mean, I was surprised by Signs when it was the whole water thing. Like, I don't know. Maybe you. I think you get it.
The thing is, I wasn't even.
Because I like Signs. I think Signs is a great movie.
I was like maybe 14 years old, I think, when that came out, and when he said, "I got this theory about water. They're not hovering over those." Even as a kid, I know. Oh well, they're gonna go use fucking water. That's why all the water's like everywhere in the house. Like I knew, and it was dumb.
Well, I didn't. And I liked
The Village. The Village was the one where I had no idea they were in like I'm gonna spoil it. Whatever.
No, what? Well, if the movie's 20 years old, it's fine.
Yeah, so like you didn't know that they were in like a fucking like weird fucking national park enclosure until the very end, because like it was like, you know, red herring thing at the beginning where they said 18 whatever on like the recent like carved like, you know, Tombstone. I'm like, all right, it's the 1800s in a weird fucking forest town or something.
I'm not saying that he's always terrible at reveals. I'm saying I will trust him to fuck up a reveal more than I do him pay
That's
it
fair.
off.
Well, yeah, true.
I respect that.
Let's see.
Anyway, Airbender sucks.
Airbender sucks.
That movie doesn't exist.
For me, I would say the movie that turned into a complete donkey show for me, and I'm so mad because it was such a good premise. Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets.
I haven't seen that one yet.
Oh no! It's here's the thing.
That was Cara Delvini and the
I saw
and then the kid from Chronicle, right?
It was it was Luc Besson coming back with $100 million movie, the most money made for any independent studio ever. And I actually watched the premiere. Luc Besson was actually doing a thing at the YouTube space, and I got to watch it and question him about it. And then I'm watching it. Beautiful movie. It
was very pretty.
It was the most beautiful movie I've ever seen. It's very detailed in color, very detailed in the world, and the beginning was one of the coolest beginnings where you saw all these first contacts with humans and aliens in this really dope ass montage, and they just built this world of 1,000 planets, bigger and bigger and bigger, until it was like a Dyson sphere level civilization type of thing, and it was amazing until you saw the main characters.
Oh no.
The main character, like, you could literally digitally alter it to where you had no main characters and you just followed a camera, and it would have been the best movie ever in terms of sci-fi. That's all I really wanted to see. But these main characters, Cara Delevingne and the other dude,
This is Dane Hahn.
awful. They were
Dane.
just awful. They had no chemistry whatsoever. They were way too young for the roles.
Were they fucking, or were they brother and sister?
No, they were not fucking. What it was he was like a playboy, and he wanted her, she wanted nothing to do with him, and they look like 16 years old. And
They do. Well, they're both very young looking people. I mean, Cara
Yeah.
Delevingne's like probably like 30, and she
No,
looks like
they're-
she's 16.
They're
so.
young. They're young looking people, and they're talking about like, when are you gonna marry me? It's like, I'm not gonna marry you. And this was like the first 5 minutes of the movie, and I'm like, I don't know your guys' relationship at all, and you guys look 16. This is
And
weird.
like you're related.
I'm uncomfortable.
It was
They do
very,
also look they look like similar people. Like they definitely have like a similar vibe.
and the thing is, Cara Delevingne, I'm gonna go out and say it. I don't care. I'll die on this hill too. Cara Delevingne is not a good actor. She's not a good actor. She's not a good actor.
She's a
And
model.
She's like Emma Watson if Emma Watson had no talent. That's how I look at her.
She just scares me. She looks like she has a lot of like crazy in her eyes, which makes me want to date her. Like, she looks like she would like hurt me
she's got the-
emotionally bad.
She's got the Kirsten Stewart problem where she
Somebody's
has
a masochist. We found the masochist.
no
Duh.
emotion. She has no emotion in her anything. She's just, okay, let's go. I'm scared. I'm
Yeah, she
offended.
does. She has hate in her eyes. That's,
Yeah, she's just dead in the world in that whole movie, and it turned the movie into a shit show so fast. And the thing is, Rihanna was wonderful in this movie.
Yeah.
She was wonderful. She was
Rihanna was
delightful
the shit in that movie.
in this movie.
I had forgotten Rihanna was in that.
They
She's
They
so
made her
good.
the main character then.
They gave her 10 minutes, I think.
She
at
plays an
most.
alien, and she's the best.
Yeah, she plays an alien. She's amazing, and she's like, they tried to do, they underutilized the crap out of her. It was almost